Hey, it's Arrow. I'm not going to jump into a subject like the greenhouse effect because I don't get it. If it's supposed to be falling apart up there in the atmosphere, then why have we had 4 or 5 major snowstorms already that have grounded this country? Man, it's not even February yet. Now, 10 years ago, during a major storm in the south where we got 17 inches of snow, I forced myself to go out and get a 4-wheel drive. Here's the thing. Sure, it snows every year, but in those 10 years, I felt like I was wasting my money on that 4-wheel drive because I never needed it. To this day, I really don't know anything about trucks because I'm a car guy. I'm that guy from Montana that had the car with the mag wheels and the headers and spinning around corners. To drive a pickup was just something the farmers did up in Montana. But my friend Al is the guy that told me to step up. Well, I stepped up. The problem is, this pickup outsmarted me last night. I have this huge hill outside my house that we call Heartbreak Hill. I took on the ice. I took on the snow. The car won. I lost. How is this possible? We got to get Al on the phone.
Good morning.
I did some research recently. The number one cause of traffic accidents during a snowstorm, Northerners who are overconfident.
You know, I could see how that's completely true. You know, we're just really impatient. But you know, you got to be patient behind that wheel on these roads. You know, you got to consider, you know, you can lose time by getting into a car accident and harm somebody else's family. So you just got to go a little slower on these roads.
And you know, the one thing that I've noticed with a lot of vehicles is that everybody wants the 4-wheel drive. But the thing about it is, Al, I bought a 4-wheel drive 10 years ago, and the thing is that I never used the 4-wheel drive. And then I finally dumped the 4-wheel drive, and look what happens, it snows. But it was you who told me that there are things on the Ford that have brand new features that I may never need that 4-wheel drive.
That's absolutely correct. I mean, with the Fords, you know, last night I was showing my 15-year-old daughter how to drive, and I caught a lot of flack from that at nighttime because my wife said, "Why would you teach her how to drive it in a snowstorm?" I said, "Okay, when? When would you like to teach her how to drive?" But, you know, along with the roll stability control and the advanced track on these cars, they keep you going straight. I mean, I show my daughter, if you pull the e-brake up, and the car starts sliding sideways, it measures and it knows there's a yaw box that's underneath the seat of your car that tells the car is out of shape, and it starts throwing the brakes on alternate wheels till the wheel slips, then it takes the wheel off, and it takes the brake off and puts it to another wheel until the car gets slowed down and going straight again.
Okay, but here's the thing that was happening with me last night. First of all, it took me 2 hours to get home from a movie premiere. So I'm trying to go up this hill, which is called Heartbreak Hill. And it's so steep is what it is. I had to hit a button, and you think I was driving it wrong because I kept hitting this button that would say it's engaged something. And so when you speak of these words that you're talking about, I have no idea because I don't understand the language.
Well, the TCS traction control system that's in the automobile, that's in there. Unfortunately, unless it's explained properly, you know, you can deactivate the system and then you have free spinning wheels on your truck, which gives you absolutely no traction at all. But sometimes when you get in positions where, you know, the ABS brake, the anti-lock system that's in these vehicles, they'll work to a certain point, and sometimes you have to freewheel that's in there. And you know, I don't know if you noticed when your truck, when you didn't hit the button and a light came on,
yep,
that was telling you that the active traction control was on, that it's engaged to let you know what that is going on inside your truck.
But I almost felt like I was competing against the computer because I was trying to get up the hill, and I mean, my foot was to the floor, and it decided how much gas I was going to put on.
That's absolutely correct. It's trying to keep the truck. What it's trying to do is trying not to allow the truck to over rev itself and get the wheels going so fast that when they do decide to grab traction, that you don't end up backwards or maybe in a ditch somewhere.
That's exactly where I was going to go. I had a gigantic hill behind me, and I swear to God, the car took over saying, "Look, you need to sit here. I'm going to get you up there." I mean, it took us. We got to the top, but yeah. I just felt like that was like, well, I don't understand. I was competing against the truck, and I got to stop that, right?
Yeah, you got to stop competing against the truck. Just use your throttle, hold the wheel straight, and then just, you know, power up the hill and hold that throttle to the point where the truck is going, and it'll monitor it. It'll move it from one wheel to the next wheel to the next wheel. It'll just keep going back and forth until the truck gets enough traction and then it'll disengage. But if it starts slipping again, it'll engage one more time.
So what is it? What other things is Ford trying to come up with that actually helps out the driver? And I'm not talking about just a Ford truck. I'm talking about what, like with the Fusion and everything like that.
Well, you have your active torsion control that's in the front of most of your front wheel drive vehicles that are when works in the same aspect as your traction control when you go around the corner too fast and you are out of control. What it does is it takes that power off that wheel that's slipping and puts it on the power that's on the wheel. Ford has active curve control. If, like me, I drive excessively fast on my Fusion when I'm taking a corner. If I'm starting to get out of shape, it'll get me back into shape by working my ABS system. It shuts down my fuel system, but it doesn't take away from anything of the safety of the car. It doesn't shut the car off or anything else. It just slows the car down to the point where it's back in control again.
That's very interesting because CBS Sunday Morning recently did a report on the future car where it's going to be driving itself. It almost sounds like Ford is pretty close to kind of doing that. I mean, we're still driving, but it's doing some deciding for us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, your steering system that's in that car. It's an electronic censored system, and it does it by feedback by your hand speed, the speed of the vehicle. It changes a lot of things, and it's measuring the road 10 millimeters per second. I mean, that car is measuring. It's taking information. It's taking data. Every inch you're going, it's taking data and sending it through the vehicle, through the transmission, through the engine, through the brake system. It's measuring things to keep you safe.
You know what's pretty scary about that? And this is one of those questions where you may just hang up on me, Al. The car is getting to know me so well that if I'm eating a beefy burrito from Taco Bell, it might actually stop it from happening.
Yeah, there's in some instances there's been some studies, two hands on the wheel. The car can tell whether in the future whether you have two hands on the wheel. It can tell. Right now the Lincolns of today can tell whether you're drowsy or whether you're paying attention to the road. It gives you an audible sound. It shakes. I mean, even to the point where it shakes the wheel. It moves the car back over to the lane where it's supposed to. I mean, the active cruise control stops you from smashing into the back of people. I mean, it's so far in advance. I mean, you take a look at some of these $70,000-$80,000 cars. Some of them don't even have it. So, I'm obviously going to throw my big blue Ford flag up in the sky. You can buy the top line car for $60,000 and still have all the amenities. But here's the beautiful part: you can buy the $20,000 car and still have all the same safety aspects of the automobile.
Do you see American Idol boosting up your sales and stuff since they've always been big fans of Ford?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of people are big fans of Ford. Obviously with the bailout and everything else, people have turned to Ford, and Ford has a great product. What Ford does is they don't over put too much product out there. I mean, we got a bunch of lines of cars, but we don't have like triples of the same car like Chrysler, Dodge, and we got one thing, and our cars are proven and tested. The Ford Focus was the best-selling car over Toyota Corolla, over the Honda Civic. I mean, it was the best-selling cars, and that wasn't by a bunch of people doing surveys. That was by a bunch of people buying these cars and actually registering them.
Can I give you a thing of the past that reoccurred, like we've lived this life before?
Yes.
So we jump out of the Ford pickup. My wife slams the door, and I look at her and said, whoa, 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 whoa. No. In the old days, you had to slam the Ford truck closed. You don't have to do that anymore.
No. I remember slamming the door, and you hear that boom.
That's right.
No, you don't need to do that. All you need to do is just basically push the door closed. And the same thing goes true with the tailgate. I don't know if you've tried this.
Oh, yes, I have.
You don't need to slam your tailgate. You just close it, and it clicks. It's locked.
I actually call it, I nicknamed it the two-finger tailgate because you can control that tailgate with just two fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, I had talking to you and listening to you about your slip sliding away and traction. What I always tell you and tell people is like right now I've got 250-pound bags of sand in the back of my car. I put 250-pound bags of sand in the back of my car when we're going to get icy weather because the back of the car is a lot lighter than the front of the car. That's where your sliding comes around because you don't have any weight back there. You put 250-pound bags of sand back there that are over the rear tires. that'll keep the vehicle from sliding. I mean, you can even use railroad ties. You can go to Lowe's and buy some railroad ties. Put 2 or 3 or 4 of those in there. I mean, they're going to move around, but I'd rather have something moving around back there.
All right, now in Taco Bell language, how many beefy burritos would I have to get that 50-pound bags coming from both sides?
I think each one of those weigh about a pound. You'd have to have somewhere right around 100 burritos. Absolutely.
Al, thank you so much, man. Keep me up to date with everything that's going on, all right, guy?
Absolutely. Be careful and have fun with your truck, my man.